didn't get Lorde tickets, but I hope everybody who did get them has a really good time. I actually heard that they only let you buy tickets if you smell bad, and if you're gonna bald early, and are ugly. So, although I won't be enjoying the Lorde tour this year, at least I know I'm safe, and I hope everybody that goes has a really good time. It has so much fun.
Get on my fucking stage, please. Can I see this camera? Please. Yeah, that's it. Peace.
On April 9th of this year, Lorde released a snippet of her song What Was That on her social media accounts, opening with the line, "Since I was 17." Now that will be important context for later. Everybody, and I mean everyone, was excited for the arrival of L4 since it's been 4 years since her last album release. The Lorde has definitely risen. Then on April 24th, she released a song as the lead single off her upcoming highly anticipated 4th studio album titled Version, set to be released on June 27, 2025. So mark your calendars. On May 8th, Lorde announced her upcoming tour Ultrasound to support the new album through her social media accounts. And she also sent out an email announcing the tour and a link to register for pre-sale, which of course I did. Later, I'll get into a short story about my experience with buying the Ultrasound ticket, but I first want to talk about what inspired me to make this video. After I bought my ticket, while I was literally on shift, later that night I went home and I searched up a bunch of TikToks to see other people's buying experience because I surprisingly had very good luck with this ticket purchase. So I went through a bunch of TikToks to see other people's experiences, and some people, they were elated and they won the Ticketmaster war, and other people were not fortunate enough to purchase a ticket because some of the shows actually already sold out during the pre-sale. A lot of the ticket scalpers, they snatched up the tickets before actual fans could purchase the face value prices. And I came across this comment in a TikTok that partially inspired this video, and I unfortunately couldn't find the TikTok I'm referring to or the comment, but basically what the comment was saying is that social media is having a negative impact on concert culture because of other reasons, but also because of ticket scalpers. And I was thinking to myself, is this true? Is social media having this negative impact on concert culture? And I was really thinking about this because I had noticed this pattern where there has been this decline of concert etiquette in the last recent years, especially post-pandemic. And what makes this so interesting that I caught on to this, is because I had my first concert experience in 2022, so I've never had a concert experience before COVID-19. So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we start, hello, I'm Annoying Black Boy, and I like making video essays on these topics relating to pop culture and society and how they relate to a wider scope. So if that appeals to you, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And with all that being said, let's get into concert culture, and if social media is actually ruining it, let's go. I'm everywhere, I'm so annoying black boy. Before I tell this story, just to provide some context, I do work at a fast food restaurant, and I don't know if I could say where for legal purposes, but yeah. Ever since Lorde has announced this tour, that was the only thing that's been in my mind, and it's been kind of annoying because once something like that happens, I can't stop thinking about it because I have so much, like I said, I have so much anxiety when it comes to buying tickets, especially during a live sale. And the fact that I was going to be on shift while the sale happened, I was just very nervous. I believe the first pre-sale was the 14th of May, the one I registered to. And I remember it was a Wednesday, and my shift, it started at 9 and the sale started at 10. So as soon as I clocked in, I got my ass to work. I literally cooked so many, oh yeah, and also this was during like the breakfast hour. So when I clocked in, I just went straight to work. I cooked so many eggs. I tried to do so many things so I could literally take at least a 5-minute, 10-minute like sit down to try and purchase a ticket. And also before the sale, Lord, she sent this email saying that the code will be sent 15 minutes before the sale happens. And I really think this is where the people organizing this tour messed up, because it wasn't a personal, unique pre-sale code. It was literally, and I said this was going to come back, since I was 17, like all spaced together as one word. And that was not good on so many reasons, but because you didn't even need to register for the pre-sale, someone could have just put it online, put it on Twitter, or people could have just put it in the group chat, and everyone would have been able to try to get tickets during the pre-sale. Yeah, so I think to give everybody a fair chance and a fair shot, the people that actually registered for pre-sale, it should have been a unique code, because that has happened in the past with other concerts I've attended where they were doing pre-sale where we got unique codes, so they shouldn't have done it for this. But I also think that is kind of what helped me to like get my ticket. But anyway, so I was like, I did the whole thing. I was in the waiting room, I was in the queue, and when I was like in the queue, there was literally only 331 people ahead of me. That has to be like the least amount of people that were ever ahead of me in a queue. Like, that was insane. And I was literally waiting in the queue for like, I have to say less than a minute, less than 2 minutes, because I was in the arena picking my seats. And the funny thing is, I was just so hectic and nervous. I originally wanted to get section seats, but I just ended up getting a pit ticket, because I was just so overwhelmed and I just didn't want to be in there too long. So I picked a pit ticket and then like went along. And the funny thing was, like, I thought I was gonna like get up and start jumping and screaming and running around, but I didn't do any of that because I was just so in shock. Like, don't get me wrong, I am happy I was able to buy a ticket, but I was just so in shock of how easy that was for me, because I never had an easy experience with Ticketmaster. Before we talk about how social media is affecting concert culture, I first want to talk about the meaning of concert culture and concert etiquette. So concert culture is exactly what it sounds like. It is the culture around concerts. It encompasses the shared experiences, behaviors, and traits surrounding live music events, fostering a sense of community and a shared passion amongst attendees. Examples could include dressing up to a certain theme or an aesthetic based off the tour or the artist, queuing up to buy tickets during a live sale, and the anxiety that comes with buying tickets, because we've all been there. Like, every time I'm in the queue to buy tickets, I am scared for my life. Also taking pictures and videos before, during, and after the concert. And this is especially true for general admission shows, so going to the venue as early as you possibly can and waiting in line all day just so you can get a good view of the show or even get barricade, which I have certainly done in the past. I personally was barricade for 4 different shows for 3 different artists, so twice for People Doobie, once for Way to Earth, and another one for Cold. And we all know that general admission is usually this first come first serve kind of thing, so that's why people do that. And concert etiquette is a set of social norms observed by those attending a live music event. Examples could include not shouting when the artist is trying to speak, applauding when it's appropriate and necessary, giving other concert attendees enough space, not blocking anyone's view with your phone, things like that. Now let's talk about the concert experience before social media. Ever since acts like Elvis Presley, NSYNC, the Beatles, parasocial relationships and attachments has always been a thing that has always existed. It's just that social media has amplified that. So yes, fans screaming, hooting and hollering at the top of their lungs, passing out, literally urinating on themselves, that has always been a thing. That has always been a thing throughout time when it comes to attending live concerts. However, social media and cell phones didn't exist back then, so it was more about being present in the moment and enjoying the music rather than perceiving it through a screen. I also think this is what made concerts so intimate back then, because no one outside of that venue is going to really experience what you just witnessed, and I think that's a really cool thing. And also, concerts used to be promoted through the radio, through the TV, through newspaper, and even word of mouth through the fans. But nowadays, I only hear a tour announcement through social media. I literally found out about the ultrasound tour through Lord's Instagram story, and then on Twitter and her email. So the way that tours used to be promoted and announced has definitely shifted because of social media. And this may come as a complete shocker to you, but people used to have to go out and physically buy tickets, and some would even keep their ticket as a souvenir. And there was quite a few ways to buy tickets back then. So the most obvious and probably the most popular is to go to whatever venue an artist is performing at and buy tickets at their box office. Also, before the app Ticketmaster, they used to have these little outlets at malls and department stores, and you can buy tickets there. Also, some record stores, they served as ticket vendors. And some radio stations, they held contests, and they would prize the winners with concert tickets. And this is a concept I saw a lot on TV shows and movies, especially sitcoms. I really want to highlight the stark difference between concerts of the past and concerts right now in the present. So I'm briefly going to talk about what concerts were like in the past decades, starting with the 70s to the 90s. And then I'm going to talk about the shift that happened in the 2000s. The Vietnam War lasted for about 20 years, so from 1955 to 1975. In the 70s, there were so many protests and movements, but the most prominent protest was against the Vietnam War. Art and music has always been political, so a lot of the music during this time reflected the social issues as rock bands like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd became really popular. This decade was more about the music itself rather than the extravagant stage presence. And a lot of the set lists in this time period were improvisational, which is unheard of today. The 80s is a decade where everything really started to change in the music scene. Music acts like Michael Jackson, Madonna, and David Bowie were turning these arena concerts into larger-than-life, over-the-top theatrical productions because of the rise in pop music and MTV innovating the music scene. There was choreography, pyrotechnics, and extravagant costume changes, as this was very trendy in the 80s. A lot of the set lists during this time featured an artist's greatest hits, like Michael Jackson's and Madonna's. With Madonna's greatest hits, think Papa Don't Preach, Like a Prayer, and Material Girl. Also with Michael Jackson, think Beat It, Smooth Criminal, and Dirty Diana. Are you aware the phrase history and trends repeat itself? Well, that was very true for the 90s. In the 90s, there was a real desire for authenticity in concerts. And of course, this isn't me saying that this wasn't the case in the past decade, but it was more about putting on a show rather than the interpersonal musical connection. People just really wanted that connection in the 90s. Genres that became popular in this time period were grunge/alternative and hip-hop, thanks to musical acts such as Nirvana, Tupac, and Biggie, as these genres gave fans the emotional connection they were so desperately craving. And a lot of the set lists during this time were of full albums and fan favorites. Let's talk about the shift. Yeah, let's talk about the concert shift. I do want to preface by saying that I'm referring to the last 25 years. I'm not just talking about the 2010s or the 2000s. Technological advancements reshaped the concert experience by the 2000s. Multimedia elements started to be used at concerts like LED screens and 3D projections by major acts like Coldplay and Beyonce. Concerts were no longer live experiences. They became digital memories amplified by the rise of smartphones and social media. Which makes sense as the first iPhone was released in the year 2007 and Twitter was found in March 2006. Digital integration such as live streaming elevated the concert experience even further. And this is so true because last year when the Eras Tour was happening, there were so many people that live streamed the whole concert through TikTok, and they're doing the same thing with Beyonce at the Cowboy Carter Tour. And they are doing this for engagement as Beyonce and Taylor Swift have massive fan bases. In the mid-2000s to 2010s, fans began documenting concerts in real time, shifting the focus from pure engagement to capturing and sharing moments. People began sharing these moments on social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, etc. And this is what made concerts more globally accessible. Not only did concert culture evolve, but the way that artists toured also changed. Artists in the 2000s began designing thematic tours with set lists revolving around specific songs and albums. Encore performances and surprise guest appearances became common, keeping audiences interested and adding unpredictability to shows. With the rise of technology and social media, it made it more accessible to spread awareness on global issues such as climate change, poverty, and equality. A personal and real-life example is the last time I went to a concert all the way back in December was the Hit Me Hard and Soft tour by Billie Eilish. A portion of the ticket and merch sales went to funding organizations to help with climate change. And you might be thinking to yourself, annoying black boy, all of that sounds magnificent. But what if in actuality, social media is doing more harm than good when it comes to concerts? I came up with two major arguments that could suggest that social media is actually ruining concerts, and those two are FOMO, or fear of missing out, and a decline in concert etiquette. A decline in concert etiquette and why I believe so. Under the FOMO belt, I actually have two theories. So let's say there's this concert, you really want to attend it, but for whatever reason you just couldn't go. And if you go on your timeline on Twitter, or you just go on social media, you go on Instagram, and you see a bunch of your friends and a bunch of people and this fandom post about the concert, you will be missing out. You'll feel like you're missing out, and that could make you very sad. And of course, even if we didn't live in a world without social media, if you couldn't attend a concert, you'll still be very sad about it. But at least no one's rubbing it in your face. At least you're not seeing stuff posted on social media. And for all you know, the concert could have been shit. Like, you don't know if anyone actually had a good time or not. And trust and believe, I certainly felt this when I couldn't attend the Eras tour. Like, I might never see Taylor in concert ever. Also in the FOMO category is ticket scalpers. Ticket scalpers, if you're unaware, there are people that buy tickets at face value, but then they go and turn around and resell the ticket for double, triple, or even quadruple the price. It's a very evil, shitty thing to do, and it's one of those things where we wish it was illegal, but it isn't. This happens a lot with very popular mainstream Western artists, and this also happens a lot within the K-pop community, especially with Big Four groups. And if you don't know what I'm referring to when I say a Big Four K-pop group, it's basically K-pop groups that belong to the four biggest companies within the K-pop industry. And those companies are SM Entertainment, JYP Entertainment, YG Entertainment, and HYBE, formerly known as Big Hit. And I am not proud to admit this, but there was a time when I was young and I was dumb and I bought an overpriced resale ticket just so I can see one of my favorite K-pop groups, Tomorrow by Together, my first time seeing them. So don't feel bad if you have ever bought an overpriced resale ticket, because I'm in the same boat. I've literally done the same thing. And I'm sorry, I am so sorry, but regarding the decline in concert etiquette, we have to talk about the pandemic, because I do believe there is a connection. On March 11, 2020, COVID-19 was declared a global pandemic with the entire world going on lockdown. It completely changed our social interactions and our daily lives, and it made it especially difficult because humans are inherently social creatures. Businesses and social spaces were closed, and every time we had to step out of our house, we had to wear a mask. And of course, concerts and upcoming tours were canceled. People were stuck in their houses, they had little to no social interactions, their eyes were glued to their phones, and this had an effect on their mentality for the worse. Once the world did go back to normal thanks to the COVID-19 vaccine, and concert tours and live music events were back on track, some people, they just didn't know how to act. Yes, bad concert etiquette has always been a thing, but bad behavior and disrespecting artists, like throwing things at the stage or even the artists, heckling, and concert attendees being disrespectful to each other, has definitely spiked post-pandemic. There are plenty of reasons to why this is happening, but relating it to social media, a lot of the people are doing it for virality purposes. Because we all know that drama and negativity boosts engagement, just like the camera incident at the Steve Lacy concert that I put in the cold open. And I think this happened last year with Biba Dewey, her latest tour, which I wasn't able to attend. She went on Instagram Live and she talked about bad concert etiquette.
From having fun, then that's not a vibe. That's really not a vibe. So the first thing is to let people have fun. Don't judge someone for jumping and screaming and having the best time. But if you are that person, just make sure you're being aware of your surroundings and to be respectful with the people around you. You don't want to constantly shove into someone when you're jumping, but go ahead, jump. Just like be aware of your surroundings.
And I did forget to say this when I was talking about people do be attending her concerts, but in 2023, after the show, she was signing autographs and taking pictures with some of the fans, and I literally got a picture with her, but I will not be showing that here because I look absolutely horrible in that picture. To combat bad concert etiquette at shows, some artists even went as far as to prohibit the uses of cell phones at their shows. Now it is time to ask the question, is social media ruining concerts? And the answer I am going to give is very nuanced because it's really not a yes or no answer, but I am very curious to see what other people think, so please feel free to comment your answer. But personally, I believe that music is meant to be shared, so the fact that social media is able to make so many people witness a concert without actually having to be there through the use of social media and technology, I think that's a beautiful thing. I love that concerts are more accessible. Like I mentioned earlier, I wasn't able to see the Eras tour, but it's so cool how some people were literally live streaming the whole entire show just for people to see it, for people that weren't able to go to the show. But I do think that social media is ruining concert etiquette. And me saying that, it kind of does remind me of the whole, oh, guns don't kill people, people kill people. But it's how you use that gun. Well, obviously in this metaphor, the gun being social media. It's how you use it that is making it very not okay. Like, for example, the fact that people are willing to go as far as purchasing a ticket just to disrespect an artist, just to like go viral on TikTok or some shit like that. Like, is that not insane? Is that not a crazy thing to do? So yes, I don't think social media is doing more harm than good when it comes to social media, but I do think it is ruining a part of concert etiquette. But yeah, that's my video on social media and concert culture. And you guys, it is your turn. Please tell me your thoughts, your opinions. Like, what do you think? Do you think social media is ruining concerts? I'm very curious to see other people's opinions because I saw a lot of stuff on Reddit and a lot of opinions on Reddit, but I want to see what people think on YouTube. And I really hope you liked this video because I had so much fun making this video. And if you did, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And hit the bell notification for every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I have been Annoying Black Boy, and I'll see you in the next video, okay? Mwah. Bye!